Hello there, and welcome back to the Golden Age of DC Comics 365 Days, where I am picking up on what they're putting down in the intent of this book. It's a page a day. One page a day, 1 year of reading and comic book conversation. So, I'm rereading this book that's been surfing on my coffee tables for the good part of 2 decades, and I'm going to read it with and for you. And we're going to have some comic book conversation because you know what? That's what the internet needs more of. We need more good talk, and hopefully you can come here for a couple of minutes a day and get some good comic book talk. And we can free ourselves from our modern worries. All those modern worries have trickled into comic books, and now we're so stressed out over the content and the intent and the lack of satisfaction on the behalf of old fans that will go back in time and appreciate their collection, which can include the golden age of comics. The golden age of comics is basically the early to mid 1930s until 1955. The silver age of comics begins in 1956. The Bronze Age of comics begins about 1974. I was born in 1972, so every step of the way I've been a Bronze Age baby. Hey, if you know what the current age is, I'd love it if you could leave that in the comments. What is it? An opinion? Is it something that's in Overstreets? Or the Wizard? I know. But really, what's the correct nomenclature for the current comic book age we're in? I'd like to know. I'd like to know what you think and what it is, because there must be a consensus. I was very resistant to the idea of classifying the Bronze Age as such and when. And you can make the argument that the Bronze Age begins with the death of Gwen Stacy. And that's okay, sure, I can accept that. Lots of times passed. I used to be a bit more taciturn on that subject. Hot coffee. Woo! That'll wake you up. Good cup of coffee. I was resistant to use the term Bronze Age for a while. I felt that Firestorm, Jerry Conway's Firestorm, who's ironically killed Gwen Stacy in 1974, created Firestorm in 1978, and Firestorm the Nuclear Man. And he had this, I really felt like he was the last Silver Age hero. He had weaknesses. He had a kind of, there was an information system in there, smuggled in there. It wasn't as obvious, but it was about, it helped teach science in a way. You had a dumb jock, and the smart professor, and when they fuse together, they make Firestorm the Nuclear Man. So Ronnie, the dumb jock, has the body and with the voice and the intellect and the advice of his mentor internally. So Ronnie's unable to figure out the chemical compounds, but the professor does. Professor Stein, Martin Stein. And so Ronnie, by trial and error, is learning science, chemistry, and other things. And I always felt that 1978 was more near the end of the Bronze Age, was more of the start of the Bronze Age. And even that, you could push that just a little further too, extend the Silver Age into the early 80s. This was my argument. I mean, I've since left that argument be, and I've accepted that the Bronze Age as proper, all right, it's got nothing to do with me. It's about talking to other people about comic books. I thought you could push the Silver Age up to the early 80s with Crisis and definitely making a dividing line at Watchmen and Dark Knight Returns, and that it went from the Silver Age into the Dark Age, which was the Vertigo Age and the post-Crisis on Infinite Earths Age, and when the Punisher became a huge character for Marvel in the 80s. Things got really dark in comics. We all know this. We all blame this in a way, but let's not blame. Let's not push fingers. That what happens to those that are guilty? We'll find out here now. It's February 11th. I should have got to that earlier, but it's February 11th, and this comes from Mystery in Space. That's the home of Adam Strange, the protector of Ron. Hopefully we'll get to him in a little bit. But one of the big dividing lines between the Golden Age and the Silver Age was the space age, the space race. And so February the 11th, this is the story by Manly Wade Wellman. It's art by Frank Giacoia from Mystery in Space, number 3, published August-September of 1951. Let's check it out. It's a pretty busy panel. I actually really like how everything's laid out here. It gives you a lot of information. All right, what's the difference between those in green and those in red? Can we figure out what's going on from the narrative caption? In search of mineral samples, the big house, in bold, the big house of space visits outlying asteroids. And here's context on context. What's the big house? The big house would be prison. That's the big house was just vernacular for prison. It was a term. Lots of prison back in the days, so we're gonna figure out that those in green with the X on their sleeves and helmets are the prisoners. Those in red with the helmets, and he's pointing, and he's got a rifle in his hand. But the other people do too. But those are mining equipment. And guard, my ray blaster is limping. We'd better pull it to pieces and repair it. And I wonder if in the next panel, if he gets vaporized by his oppressors for not using his bare hands. I don't know. We'll never know. Or unless you want to go pick, you can find out. It's Mystery in Space number 3 from August-September of 1951. You can go and find out what's going to happen next. You can go and get that comic book, either virtually or you can just pay a few bucks for it and get a beautiful, magnificent artifact of a bygone era. And that's part of the love of comic books. And you know what? I'm so happy to be going through this book with you, and it's the Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days. And I'm telling you, we're going to be talking about comic books for the rest of the year. So you tune in tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern and see what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. And thank you so very much for tuning in. Give me a thumbs up if you like this kind of material. Give me a thumbs down if you didn't. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. Leave a comment in the comment section. We can continue this conversation about comic books. And I would love to earn your subscription. I make daily content, pop culture, positivity, spirituality, and I'm also a professional chef. I want to give you cooking hacks so you can make delicious, nutritious, and beautiful food so you can share with your family and your loved ones at your table. Be blessed, be grateful. Thank you so much for tuning in, and tune again tomorrow, please. Thank you.